All righty. How's everybody doing? I am G, the seeker of truth. This is Spiritual Stake, and yes, your spirit is at stake. We've been doing our Bible breakdown. We are in Exodus chapter 2. Just a quick overview of chapter 1. There's a new king. We found out that Joseph, all his brethren, their whole generation then died out. And it's a new king. He don't know nothing about Joseph, but he don't like the fact that the Israelites are multiplied like they are in the land, because he say he feel like if there was a war that they would side with their enemy and overthrow them. So he make a decree. He tell the midwives that when the babies is born of these Israelite, these Hebrew women, kill the men, kill the boys, and save the girls. But the women, they couldn't do it. They fear God. They fear something higher than him, somebody stronger than him. But in the end, with there being a decree made, excuse me, with there being a decree made, and the decree is like a law, ordinance per se, that these Hebrew women, when they bear these kids and they are male childs, throw them in the river. And every girl, keep her alive. That was just a quick overview of chapter 1. We finna go ahead and get right into chapter 2. Y'all already know how we do. You gonna fire up, gonna fire up. Exodus chapter 2. And there went a man of the house of Levi, and took to wife a daughter of Levi. And the woman conceived and bare a son. And when she saw him that he was a goodly child, she hid him 3 months. And when she could not longer hide him, she took for him an ark of bulrushes, and dabbed it with slime and with pitch, and put the child therein. Excuse me. And she laid it in the flags by the river's brink. And his sister stood afar off to wit what would be done to him. And the daughter of Pharaoh came down to wash herself at the river, and her maidens walked along by the river's side. And when she saw the ark among the flags, she sent her maid to fetch it. And when she had opened it, she saw the child, and behold, the babe wept. And she had compassion on him, and said, This is one of the Hebrews' children. Then said his sister to Pharaoh's daughter, Shall I go and call to thee a nurse of the Hebrew women, that she may nurse the child for thee? And Pharaoh's daughter said to her, Go. And the maid went and called the child's mother. And Pharaoh's daughter said unto her, Take this child away and nurse it for me, and I will give thee thy wages. And the woman took the child and nursed it. Time out. Time out. Now, I don't know if it's me, but a lot of these stories that we read now, that we heard as kids, they not lining up. Right? We read them in a different way than we learned them. Because we was told when Moses, this child here is Moses, right? When he was put into the river, say the woman got him, and they took him on over to Egypt. We never knew, at least I didn't. I was never told, I never heard about the Pharaoh's daughter knowing that it was a Hebrew's child. It was a Hebrew woman's child. I never knew that she told her maid to go fetch a Hebrew woman to nurse the baby. I never knew that Hebrew woman that the Pharaoh's daughter's maid went to get Was his mother all alone? Did you? I never heard it like that. I knew that the mama took him and put him in the river and sent him on. And then they say the Pharaoh's daughter, maid, found him. They took him and all over there with them. And took him and she act like it was his. Did nobody break it down and say that they knew it was a Hebrew child? Did nobody say that the Pharaoh's daughter told her maiden, go find a Hebrew woman and nurse this baby back? I just said all this. I'm saying it again because nobody never tell me one time. So I'm going to tell you 2 times. And it's right there. It's right there. Chapter 2. 7. Say, then said his sister to Pharaoh's daughter, shall I go and call to thee a nurse of the Hebrew women that she may nurse the child? So the Pharaoh's daughter's maid is Moses' sister. Let me go on and tie all that together. It say in 8, and Pharaoh's daughter said to her, go, and the maid went and called the child's mother. 9, and the Pharaoh's daughter said unto her, take this child away and nurse it for me, and I will give thee thy wages. And the woman took the child and nursed it. And the child grew, and she brought him unto Pharaoh's daughter, and he became her son. And she called his name Moses, and she said, because I drew him out of the water. And it came to pass in those days, when Moses was grown, that he went out unto his brethren and looked on their burdens, and he spied on Egyptians, smiting an Hebrew, one of his brethren. And he looked this way and that way, and when he saw that there was no man, he slew the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. And when he went out the second day, behold, 2 men of the Hebrews strode together. And he said to him that did the wrong, wherefore smitest thou thy fellow? And he said, who made thee a prince and a judge over us? Intended thou to kill me, as thou killed the Egyptian? And Moses feared and said, surely this thing is known. So Moses, for everybody that came up like I did, hearing these stories, the story of Noah, and how they say when they were teaching me that he went out and preached to everybody and gave them a chance to get on the ark, and they all laughed at him, how we didn't read that part in the Bible for ourselves. For everybody who heard the story of Moses and thought that Moses was just got thrown in the water and the Egyptians found him and he got raised by the Pharaoh's daughter, we find out that wasn't true. Moses was raised by his mama until he was, I guess he came off the tit. Or say, matter of fact, let me go on. Let's be correct about it. So in 10, say, and the child grew, and she brought him unto Pharaoh's daughter, and he became her son. So Moses was with the mother after he grew. I mean, after the whole, there was a time elapsed from the time that he was drew out the river by the Pharaoh's daughter to the time that he was returned to the Pharaoh's daughter and presented to her as her child. Because it just say he grew. So however long it take for a mother to nurse a newborn to where now they don't need the mother's nurturing, the mother's nursing. Because he her son. He over here in Egypt, he see a Hebrew getting pecked on. So he go down here and he knock his little buddy off. But he get found out by 2 more of them. They say, who made you the judge? You the judge, you coming through, you judging, you killing? So Moses, now he's scared. He think everybody gonna find out that he knocked the dude out. So he smashed out. We're in 15. Now when Pharaoh heard this thing, he started to slay Moses. But Moses fled from the face of Pharaoh and dwelt in the land of Midian. And he sat down by a well. Now the prince of Midian had 7 daughters. And they came and drew water and filled the troughs to the water their father's flock. And the shepherds came and drove them away. But Moses stood up and helped them and watered their flocks. And when they came to Ruel, their father, he said, how is it that ye are come so soon today? And they said, an Egyptian delivered us out of the hand of the shepherds, and also drew water enough for us, and watered the flock. And he said unto his daughters, and where is he? Why is it that ye have left the man? Call him that he may eat bread. And Moses was content to dwell with the man, and he gave Moses Zipporah his daughter. And she bare him a son, and he called his name Gershom, for he said, I have been a stranger in a strange land. And it came to pass in process of time that the king of Egypt died, and the children of Israel sighed by reason of the bondage, and they cried, and their cry came up unto God by reason of the bondage. And God heard their groaning, and God remembered his covenant with Abraham, with Isaac, and with Jacob. And God looked upon the children of Israel, and God had respect unto them. Now, here go a lot of things that don't make no sense. How did the children of Israel get put into bondage? They was deeper than the Egyptians, right? This what caused the initial fear. So how did they trick or manipulate or persuade all these people? Or maybe just over time of killing off the boy childs, it was the submissive males and the females that was performing handmaiden duties and other type of duties. We got to know that they told their father that Moses was an Egyptian man. But Moses is grown, older. He's old enough to bear children. He flees, go to Midian, see some daughters. He helped them fill their trough up. The father rewards him with bread and eventually rewards him with his daughter Zipporah. And she has a son unto Moses. The children of Israel, they are in bondage. And they crying out because they in bondage. I don't know how they got in bondage. You don't know how they got in bondage. Or maybe you do know how they got in bondage. But I'm not talking about any other type of text. I'm talking about according to Scripture. According to Scripture, all we know is that he was trying to figure out a way. And then they say he got to working them with brick and mortar. But if you knocking off all the males, you're going to eventually have a population of females, and they ain't slanging no bricks and mortar. So, I'm just saying, I don't know. I don't know. What I do know is this. That's why it is imperative to study for yourself. Because if I would have never studied this for myself, and we would not be doing this right now together, and somebody asked me about Moses, I would have never knew that Moses' mother raised him until he was of age to get to the Pharaoh's daughter. I was under the illusion that by Moses being a male child and his mama not wanting to part with him like that, you know what I'm saying, seeing him get tossed into the river, she floated him on, boom, bam, the Pharaoh maid find him, get him, take her to the Pharaoh's daughter, never knew that the Pharaoh's maid was Moses' sister, never knew that they wouldn't got a handmaid. Like I said, I'm going to say it again. I'm going to keep reiterating these points that was not reiterated before. But anyway, that was Exodus chapter 2. Moses, they caught him caught him a little body. He didn't flee. He left Egypt. He went to Midian. He helped the daughters of Reuel. He was presented with a daughter for himself, which he wife, Zipporah, had a son, Gershom. And the children of Israel are in bondage. They crying out, and God remembered the children of Israel. He heard they groaning. He heard they moaning. That was chapter 2. Right, tomorrow we're going to be right back in it, going to chapter 3. I am G, the seeker of truth. And until next time, y'all stay elevated.